So today when we go and think about what kind of a manager or leader I want to work for, you're very clear in your mind what kind of a leader you want to work for. And those have resulted in those expectations, which is what becomes a problem when you join a job and you say, this is not what I wanted. You know, because when you get interviewed, it's the road to hell and heaven. You know, it's when you're not with a job, it's a road to heaven. It's bliss. When you get into that, it's exciting the first day in the induction because it's all about the wow factor of the company. But wait till you get into it, my friend. And once you get into it, you don't even know what has hit you. And you say, oh, this is what it was. You know, and so just going back to what those expectations are, which is what really, you know, give us that kind of a huge shock. That what have I gotten into? Is a leader is an inspiration and direction of action. Powerful words. Inspiration, direction, action. So I want a leader, you know, who's inspiring. I want a leader who has direction. Again, you know, because I'm emotionally intelligent, so I want to express what kind of leader I want. Your respected leaders concentrate on what they are, what they know, and what they do. So they're extremely aware. The people are extremely aware. I want to work for people like that. I want to connect with people who are like that because I'm an emotional person. I'm absolutely self-aware about my emotions. And I want a leader to coach me and mentor me in those aspects. One expectation. Very, very clear expectation that people have at work. Some may express it, some may not. And some may continue with the job because again the EMIs, the practical aspects, you know, do I really have the gut to go and look for another job? You know, do I really have the gut to go and, you know, start an entrepreneur? But a lot of people who really can't take that aspect of the corporate and they sit and tired with the manager, as Gallup survey says, you know, you don't leave organizations, you leave your managers. Somebody who doesn't understand you, somebody who's not compassionate. So you leave and, you know, and you say, I'm an entrepreneur. So basically it's a card to say, you know what, I was sick and tired of the corporate and my boss, and that's when I thought I would take a break. That's where the whole inceptions of, you know, the whole thing comes out. And why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Some are born with that quality, and some, they really go through that rigorous process to come back and say, I'd rather do something on my own and take my own nonsense. The other expectation is failed leaders couldn't lead themselves. You know, just a flow of thought, I won't get into it. And you know, this is something very personal to me, the last line. Very true. If you all can read it. One cannot inspire with emotion until he is swamped with it himself. You can't talk about emotions and emotional intelligence till the time you don't have it in yourself to really inspire or rub it onto people. You know, and that's a spark of the leadership style. Yes, you have emotions, but some can express it, some can inspire, some can rub it on. You get absolutely in awe with those people. So you cannot be an emotional leader, an emotional quotient leader, or express it in the corporate till the time you are not swamped with it. Again, it's, you know, as she said, it's not the difference between intelligent and emotional. I'm emotionally intelligent. I've written an article on emotional intelligence in the human factor. They're precisely talking about this. When leaders say, you know, a lot of organizations, banks, telecommunication companies that I know, who are my colleagues, you know, in the HR heads, they keep nodding their head before the CEOs. So when they come back, you know, they say, what kind of nonsensical, you know, stuff these guys talk? Because when I'm trying to convince the guy that you need a people leader in a banking space, even despite whatever great knowledge he has about finances, they just don't seem to understand it. He says, I want someone who can run business. I want someone who can run business. But you can't run business without relationship with customers, or you can't run business without understanding your people down the line. So where is the difference between business and emotions? It's same. You know, simple. If you're going to really get your, you know, your clientele is maximum, you know, in a lot of jobs, right? It's relationship building. How do you go and build relationships? Ultimately, your money comes from there, right? In any form, it's relationship management, and it can't be done without emotions. So how can you isolate that?